So I would like to call on Calvo-Tenorio. Calvo, are you here? Because Calvo had a question. There you are. Would you mind asking your question? And you're more than welcome. Remember, there is not necessarily a time limit, but if you wouldn't mind making a point, I did say that you can jump in.
Patty, what we're going to do is that if you feel like the speakers are dragging for too long, because we have a set of questions that we want to ask, and we ask the audience to please, let's have some control. We forgot about the game, Patty says. Let's remember that. Now, let's give this young lady her time because she submitted a very good question, and it's very related to this topic we're talking about.
Thanks, Tom. I got this. I got it. Ms. Calvo-Tenorio, if you don't mind, please.
Hi, my name is Shalani. It is a fact that healthcare has become the most important issue facing our island. What are you going to do about the rising cost of health insurance and the high deductibles?
That's sort of a specific question, so if you wouldn't mind answering with some
the question is,
question.
what are you going to do?
I got that part.
Does it feel me?
You know what, Mr. Gutierrez, you can go first because he finished off at the last.
I don't know what the rules are. You tell me to jump up and they tell me to sit down.
You get to answer the question first. You get to go ahead and start the answer.
Well, first of all, January 3rd, when we're sworn in as governor and lieutenant governor, we will renegotiate that contract. Like it or not, we will renegotiate that contract. And I'm asking my friend here, are you going to make that commitment to renegotiate that contract? You were blaming him for that contract because you said he was supposed to be there in the negotiations, which is not supposed to be there. Okay, so he made a mistake by not looking at it. So are we going to allow the mistake to go on, or are you going to pull it back and let's renegotiate? Don't say that it's already done deal and not allow and keep blaming him. You know darn well that no one in the legislature, no senators can get in there and find out what Campillo is telling them or what your cousin Lou Perez is telling them. I'm telling you this as a fact. Are you going to renegotiate? That's the key. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that's the first thing for about 16,000 people. What we need to do is to go for grants in the government. We're going to set up in the governor's office a grants group of people that know how to write grants and find the winning grants on health care and bring those hundreds of millions of dollars to Guam. That's what's lacking right now in our government. People don't know how to write grants. We want Guam to be declared a critical access area. We want to get the National Medical Service Corps to come to Guam. But you need to work with the federal government, network with them, because that's what's been lacking over the last 8 years. No one was networking in Washington. No one was standing up for Guam. The face of Guam was out of sight, out of mind. I can do that. Been there, done that. President Clinton even said that we went through difficult times, and Calvo-Tenorio, you're still the one because you know how to work it. If I can work with the President of the United States and bring him to Guam, I can certainly do that right now. And get in there and see Obama and tell Obama that the Republicans in Guam says your health care is crazy. That's an affordable health care act to bring people that are not insured into the system. It is not, the people that run health care insurance, they don't like it because they have to spend less for administrative costs. They're telling you can't spend more than 15% maybe and give the money out to healthcare services. They don't like that because there's a restriction on the insurance companies. So they'll continue to tell you that it's bad. That Affordable Health Care Act is bad. But who's telling you that? The guys that have to get less profit and give more health care to the real people of Guam.
Yeah. And if I may ask the moderator, I respected my opponent's time, and I'll try to keep it at minimum length, but the problem, the last question was I kept on being interrupted. Can I be allowed to?
You know, okay,
Okay.
let me just go through this one more
Okay.
time. This was designed to be a sort of a dialogue, and I see that since we're up on the floor, that it's become a little more difficult to create a conversation while we're calm and sitting down. You are more than welcome.
Okay.
Because the rules allow for there to be.
Okay.
But you must complete
Sure.
a thought, if you don't mind, sir.
Thank you, Patty. Again, my opponent has just recognized that his partner wasn't doing his job. Thank you. Now with that, regardless of my opponent's partner not doing his job, you did have representation from the executive director of the legislature, who was one of your campaign captains, that was part of the negotiation process. This process, again, negotiating for health insurance in the government, and I'll go to the private sector later, is probably the most expansive when it comes to people participating. Representatives from the legislature, representatives from different branches of government. This has been going on for 6 months, and then, of course, what my opponent is saying, well, they fell asleep at the wheel, so let's stop it all and let's start again. No, I'm not going to renegotiate. If it means disrupting that retiree, and this is typical of my opponent, not bearing the consequences. If it means disrupting dialysis for a retiree, when it means a Guam worker and an emergency situation happens for his child and goes to the hospital because they do not have health care coverage, I guess my opponent would like them automatically to go into MIP or Medicaid. But be that as it may, moving forward, what I will do in January, starting as when I raise my oath to the Bible, to God, and to the people, I will.
If you don't mind, if you let him.
Let me finish. I'll finish.
It's gone to God already.
Let me just finish what I'm going to do.
I mean, it's not, okay.
What I will do is, again, since I did not vote for this budget, that what the budget did was it, as a result of the appropriations for the health care premium, it gave the burden, a greater burden to the government of Guam employee. The majority was aware of this because correspondence had been sent by the Lou Perez and the administration about the premium. So I will redo the budget, and I can do it balanced, unlike my opponent. What we will do is we will raise the contribution for the government to release some of the burden on the Guam employee. And then, and I want to congratulate Governor Camacho, I found out today that they are going to be doing the pay raises for the employees with the Hay study. I will initiate one way to help alleviate some of the rising costs of not only health care but everything else on Guam, is to give those pay raises to those Guam workers that are in need of it. And I will move forward in giving them a pay raise, so not only to pay their health insurance premium, but also to pay for the rising cost of gas and food. Then, what I will do also is, again, we will look towards what we can do, and then there's several bills that have been introduced and also mandated by law, and I will work with the legislature, so how can we bring more health insurance companies into Guam to make them more, what can we do? Is it better payment terms? Is it whatever it may be to make it more attractive for them to come back to the government of Guam? There is a misnomer here. My opponent mentioned that there's a certificate of need for health insurance companies to come into Guam. That is a falsehood. There is no certificate of need. An insurance company, any insurance company can come into Guam. They got to get their business license. There will be a test of their solvency, both insurance and banks, so they don't fail. What we will do is we will go out there if necessary. In fact, we will. We'll go market out there for other healthcare providers, and whether it's a health insurance company or other healthcare providers that can fill the need and fill the void. We have about 4 or 5 health insurance companies in Guam. If there's a necessity to bring in more, let's go out and market it. But
Okay.
I intend to move forward as governor
Thank
once
you,
I
Senator.
can get voted in by you, the people of
Thank you
Guam.
very much.